call the meeting of the Land Bank to order. First item is new business, consideration land bank minutes from 2018.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from September 18, 2018.
2018, there we go.
Second?
So moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Did we page Commissioner Albritton? Is he coming tonight?
He hasn't said anything to me.
Okay. Next item is
He'll be a little after 6, okay.
start discussion of the electric and natural gas issues, the land bank lots on Olivia Farms and elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll do the whole, probably go through the whole, all the land bank properties, kind of give you an update where we're at. Now, of course, I think a lot of around their office always felt that since all the transformer boxes are in Olivia Farms, that it was all Rockstar. Well, they didn't string wire. Apparently, from what I've been told by, and yesterday we had a good discussion with, was his name Dave? Tracy. Yeah, and he was involved with doing the work 10 years ago. Is that when things start going south there, they just stopped, I mean, they just stopped and they pulled, and Mike last week from Overding says they pulled all our transformers out because they didn't want the liability of transformers being shot at, leaking the whole bit. So everything got pulled out, and I've even been told they pulled wire one time back out. I don't know if they did or didn't, but a lot of stuff, they just stopped, okay? And let's just don't, and so everybody understands, the special assessment, special benefit districts covered the, what I call the public, the things that the city does. It covers the streets, it covered the curb and gutter, probably didn't cover the sidewalk, it covered water, and it covered stormwater if we had any stormwater drainage, and it also covered the wastewater.
On the lots.
Okay, on the lots. And I think from end to end, that's all pretty well done. I don't know of anything that's not been done. Because we look out there, we find fire hydrants, and did you find sewer on that?
Yeah.
On that one yesterday, on Mantrans, okay. Everybody marked them a little differently, so we have found them all. They're all there, that's all done. The private utilities, natural gas, electric, and we probably can't forget about cable TV, or Cox and CenturyLink, all did their own thing. And I know, and I didn't get a number out of Tracy yesterday, I think there was some kind of split between them and the developers, but I don't know what that number was, and it may be around here somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it yet. Did they help pay for it? Of course, usually on the utility side, they plan to get it by sales, and that's how they get paid back, and they do that. So it came to a quick on there. And so we met with Tracy yesterday morning. Let's start in Olivia Farms. Of course, one of the key issues, of course, is Jim, put that map up with the X's on there, please. The one that I PDF this morning. Anyhow, okay, and I sent this lot to you this morning. Of course, the key lots are the two that we have a contract on with the Nacarados, and they have a contract on lots 26 and 27 in block 1. Okay, being that upper, yeah, right there it is. Okay. And if you look at there, we have power in the upper corner there. We have a lift station there. We have power to there, okay? So they have to bring the power up and around. Now, the way Tracy set this up, and if anybody really help me out, and Lance too, if I go wrong here, when they do the power, they don't have every transformer on the same line. They split their load up to give it the level load out, and I actually understand some of that. So what they'll do is there's different color transformers out there, and so the ones that have to hit the Nacarado lots, I believe, are the blue ones. So if they run the line, and they gave the cost of $23,000 some change, if they run the line, it's actually going to fire up. It's going to make electricity available to everything with NICS.
The blue boxes are on Samantha Drive, is that correct?
Yes.
Then the red boxes are everything off of Fort Avenue.
No. What's going to happen is then you have to pull another line through to catch the reds. So in other words, you'll pull another line through to catch 13 and 14.
On block 10?
No, in block 10. And then as you get to block 1, like 42, 43, that'll be a different line. It'll be pulled through the same conduit, but they run different lines. And as you go through, it'll pick up different ones. So for 23,000, you light up, I think I had that number this morning, I wrote in the letter, how many lots that was. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because what you do is they're able to go across the street then. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 8, there's 12, looks like 16. Basically, when you break it down, you can light up any block, or any, if you have enough area here, at $1,500 to $2,000 a lot, give or take, okay? Natural gas is all here. The only place that does not have natural gas is in Deer Creek 3 and all of Prairie Ridge. Because all those buildings on Patriot Point do not have natural gas. They're all 100% electric buildings. So, and why that happened, I have no idea. Okay,
Prairie Ridge is all electric, is that what you were saying?
there's no natural gas there. So if you build, you either bring natural gas or the buildings that are there now are all electric.
All electric, okay.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't down the road if somebody wants to put gas in, but there is no gas in those buildings now. Okay? There's conduit, I mean, we had conduits mixed up too, but there's conduit there for CenturyLink and Cox and there. A lot of this, Tracy said yesterday, and some of it, they ran all the utilities in one trench. 5-foot wide trench, they put all the utilities in. He says they tried to be on the bottom. And you have no problem with spacing issues, they got it all done. But sometimes the gas company went elsewhere by themselves too. So gas, we're in pretty good shape, other than in All of Man's Ranch has gas. The only thing we're missing gas is Patriot or Prairie, and then Deer Creek 3. Electric on DS&O, we're spotty here, and we're spotty, especially in Mans too, and their Mans. There are 3 there too?
Deer Creek 3 didn't have any electrical.
And Deer Creek 3 too, yeah. Well, that's West Star. Okay. And West Star does not have electricity on Prairie. What's that? Prairie Ridge, excuse me. I keep forgetting names. Prairie Ridge. The north part of towards the end, that way north end of as you come off Rucker, and that lot that Mark Powers owns in there. That is probably DS&O. They don't have electricity, but that's not a land bank lot. That's not our problem. So, because there's some lots bought up in there. That north end, as you go up Rucker Road, is not land bank for the most part. It's private owned property. So we can light up here for 23. And I think I left with 3 options this morning. One, we just say, folks, go rent it yourself. Spend $23,000. The downside, of course, is it's expensive to do it. And then I think the other problem, of course, is that gives everybody else in those X's basically a free ride. Is that fair? The other thing is, and we could say this about any subdivision, we go in here and how to do this. 2, you find a developer to buy all these lots and say, here, developer, you take care of it, you put them in there, and you recoup your costs, you sell it. I don't think you'll find a developer right now. You're not going to find one. The other option is for the city to become the developer, put them in, raise the cost of lots by $1,500 to $2,000 a lot, and say, we'll do that. If you do that, my recommendation would be, and I think Lance probably agreed with me, is now we start picking lots. We say, no, you can't buy everything. You have to buy these lots only. We're going to do these. We're going to be a real developer that may go to another piece when we sell 40% or 50%. Then we may think about the next one. That's fairly commonplace. That's why a lot of subdivisions were built. These weren't done that way. A lot of cities, when you put subdivisions in with special benefit districts, and you make the developer put money down, which we didn't do here, you make them put money down, most of them will get 40, about, it's kind of that magic number, 40% of the lots sold, and then they'll go to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, and work it out that way. And that way it keeps them from a lot of exposure there. So I think that's the options you can have. Like I said, we have some interest in the lots on Mance Ranch, on the, what's the name of the drive? Lariat? And they're beautiful lots. I mean, if I was gonna, if you say I'm gonna build a house I mean, they may be my choice lots because they're nice big lots, they're deep. Spring Valley's on the backside of them. They're far enough away from Spring Valley. I mean, they're just nice lots. And there's beautiful houses on there like now, so it really fit in well. That would be a possibility if you want to entertain some, is we go there and maybe the city becomes developer on that one and pay for all the electricity, land bank, and those, because those lots would probably sell, half of them would probably sell right now. I mean, so that might be an option to look at down there too. Natural gas is all there.
Do you feel that a fair number of these lots in the north end of Olivia Farms are too narrow? Should they be combined to make one lot, like 2 for 1?
The replating or?
I cannot,
I mean, are they wide enough to
cannot see
really?
dimensions because my copy.
Most of them are
is small.
65s.
65 is probably a little on the smaller side for the types of houses that could potentially go in there.
But my argument is the price you're selling them at, and if you add 2,000 to it, do you sell them for $7,000 or $5,000, 6, 7, 7,000 with electricity? Do you sell them 2 lots at 7,000 piece or 1 lot at 14?
I guess my point is, if we're gonna run the lines, do we have to run all of them, or we just sell them in 2 lot blocks? Each time you're buying 2 lots. So, you pay $10,000. And you get it, and you're gonna get 2, but you're gonna have a nice big lot. It's gonna be a lot more attractive, I would think, to purchase than 1 lot for $5,000.
The advantage of doing that, and I can see what you're saying, is that we have somebody establishing a base there with the offer we have, is that every house in that block will be similar. You won't have somebody come in, put a small little house on a 65-foot lot. Get that?
But we have 1,000+ lots.
Right.
And I think this might attract, bigger money houses, from beyond Wilma Way to do that. The smaller, less expensive houses maybe in
Or do
south
you,
of that.
Or do you go ahead in that block there, just require them to buy 2 lots? And-
Well, it's the same thing.
Well, and save the money if replatting it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, because this is the time to do it, to establish, this is how we're going to do it in this area.
The other option is a minimum of 2 in that block, or along Wilma Way,
North of Wilma Way.
yeah.
I think that's
Are
something
we
maybe we
better
need
off
to
to
talk about more.
Are we better off
Maybe-
just replatting, Leon?
Pardon me?
Are we better off replatting or just selling minimum of 2 lots?
Well, if you sell them 2 lots, unfortunately, that plat, I believe, has platted setbacks, which we don't normally do. This consultant did. So they can't cross that line without replatting.
Or they're gonna have to do
They
it?
come back and get it, I don't know how you do away with it without replatting.
Okay,
Different situation. I think we talked about that before, about replatting a lot of them, and
Yeah, I think it was kind of up in the air because we didn't know
well, how
what
much do you
needed
want
to
to
be done.
spend till you get there,
Well, I can I ask a question
No.
about?
Go ahead.
When you talk about being a developer, is that what is that the way we want to go? The city to be a developer?
I don't think you have a choice.
We are no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
You own
We are in
1,000
a
lots.
position.
That would be.
We're trying to
develop
move
on
these
that.
in a somewhat logical manner,
Okay,
hopefully.
and my second.
If we don't step out and do this, you ain't gonna sell nothing.
Right.
My second thought would be, can the 23,000, how much is DSNO willing to put in there on that as well, since they're the ones gonna be getting the,
Probably none, because they're still trying to recover from their losses.
If you look at all the lots that it does cover, that's really not bad.
No.
I mean, 1,500 per lot, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think another group that was looking at this area was saying the lots are actually on the east side of Samantha Drive. The ground is really unusable behind the house. And we may have more of a difficult time selling those if
Unless
they
we
aren't bigger to
replat
begin
them.
with. Or we require a replat as part of the sale.
what's the cost involved for them to replat, do you know? Is that, it's not.
Any idea, Leon?
it depends how many lots you want to do at one time.
Two at a
At a
time?
time, you're Gotta assume that the plat and everything boundary-wise is correct. You might spend $1,500 to go out and verify the pins and draw up the plat and go through the process.
On each,
Every time, I have 2 lots, yeah. It'd be cheaper to replat a bunch of them at one time.
Okay. And then bring that cost back in.
Still gonna have filing fees, planning commission, city commission.
Well, maybe I'm making it too difficult, but
But, I talked to a couple meetings ago when the county guy was here, he talked about the plating, that it didn't matter if, like if I've got a house and I wanna buy the lot next to me, I thought we talked about the plating and it
That
wasn't, you
was
didn't
a
have to.
parcel on the GIS, not necessarily the plat.
But is that restriction recorded?
The side, the setbacks,
Yeah.
yes. And it's, year out just went crazy when he saw that. There's nothing he could do except maybe go back and replat or vacate.
The developer may have made it.
It's a different animal. We usually show front yard setbacks is the only thing we show on plats here. For some reason they did the side yard. So you got a 65-foot lot with probably 5-foot minimum on each side. So actually you only build a house of
50.
because to me, if we go what you were saying earlier, then you're basically going to have 6 lots that are going to be bigger in the back end of Samantha Drive and maybe 1 or 2 in the back of
That's
Cowboy Court or whatever it is.
Hurricane.
What?
Bigger lots in them cul-de-sacs versus the lots driving up to the cul-de-sacs.
I don't know, I kind of think that if we
I think you're right.
doubled them right off the bat, then
The whole subdivision?
not the whole subdivision, but maybe north of just Wilma Way. Because we've got all these other block ones that are, we haven't even subdivided yet, that someone's trying to purchase all for nothing tonight, so.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of lots, and I think this would be a way to attract more people out there and build a bigger, nicer house, generate a little more property tax revenue.
Do you know, since this time, there are a lot of lots in Olivia Farms that want to be bought, so is that the area that seems to be the area that people, are you getting a lot of interest and that's where they're all kind of like flocking to?
I think we've had as much interest in the Olivia Farms lot, in the Olivia Farms lots as anywhere, particularly on Samantha Drive, because that has a nice view. There's Samantha Drive, and to the south, which is just east of the pond, there are some nice flatter lots in there. Those would be where we probably have the most interest, but on the east side of the pond, the lots, the power is rather limited there. So with the view at Samantha Drive, that's where the most interest has been. But I think Olivia Farms in general it's just a very nice area back there. So there has been interest, but probably, I would probably say that maybe the focus should be on the Samantha Drive, and then after some interest takes place there,
Then we-
move elsewhere.
Wherever the most interest seems to be.
Right. There has been some interest in, I think we had a couple of inquiries in those larger lots, those unplatted lots. They don't have power. I think that probably, without the power, the interest is probably going to change a little bit in those areas.
That buys us time to, the problem is, and I've looked at these a long time, I don't know, and maybe, I don't know if it has expertise to say, do you do this much, or do you do one piece now and see how it goes, and then do more without all the expense, and then maybe have to replat back again down the, do too much. I could probably live with anything north of Wilma Way. That makes sense. It's a good spot. But, let's don't get overzealous and spend $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on replatting.
So what do you think of that, doubling the lot size? Side by side, just selling them in 2 lot blocks.
And
So then you have 130-foot frontage.
selling the lots as 2 lots. I don't think that's a bad idea, I really don't.
But is it a good idea?
Yeah.
I can see your-
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I think with the quality of the homes that could potentially go in there, I think it sets it apart. And
That's kind of my point.
yes, it sets it apart from many of the other lots, creates some exclusivity in that particular area, and maybe some desirability for those particular lots.
Right.
So you're saying, Mayor, to sell that on Samantha Drive, every two lot minimum,
Or replat it.
or replat it, which the plat is gonna cost us money. The replatting is gonna cost what?
Well, but
We
if
can
if they
replat the
have that
whole thing?
restriction Leon's talking about, they're gonna have to, and so either we do it or they do it, and I don't know which is better. I mean,
And I don't know if legally you can just vacate them side yards.
That's what I
We've
was
never
just
dealt with
thinking.
something like
I mean, if they belong to us, why can't we?
Why don't we just see if there's a way around it?
Yeah.
yeah, but it's yeah, I don't know.
I'll check into it because since this is a
That's new.
different
Yeah.
goose than we normally cook, I want to check into
No,
that.
I get it. A lot of these things are uncharted territory.
Yeah.
So for anybody in the state, so,
I've noticed.
So
yeah.
the key issue is going to be here is, do we want to address, I mean, Lance did bring, and they were getting ready to close on Nacarado lot, so, and he brought an extension for a month tonight. We could approve that and then hit this out a little bit. Or, do we just move ahead and say, hey, we want to put the electricity on those 16 lots that I've identified here and do that first phase? Do we want, and Tracy is getting us more prices too, because we just met yesterday. And so maybe what it costs to do other areas and get a grasp of it. I think, we could just do all 16 now, or do we want to just say, let's light up this whole area here? We are going to have, I mean, here's a downside of selling some back here, which, never thought of until being out there, is we now have to replace all those light poles. And they all have electricity to them. The problem is they put in, as we had in Doc Hargraves and up in there, we put fancy light poles that don't work well in wind.
And people tore up.
Hmm?
And some of them
Well,
have been
it
damaged.
didn't take, the wind's gonna tear them up. The problem is they had just a regular ballast in there. Now they're going to LEDs, and the ballast was, everything was so heavy in there. Those up on Brookbend up in there, those bolts just get sheared.
So how much more is that gonna cost?
Well, but that's our cost. I mean, that, we,
For those things are close to $600.
yeah. Well,
Each?
but you're gonna have to put posts up there too.
Well, yeah, I mean, at Hunter's Ridge, it
Yeah.
places $600 a pole stay, but on, you're right.
Olivia
on
Farms,
we're gonna have
Olivia
to-
Farms was planning on $1,000 to $1,500 a light. But that'll actually be a city cost, not a land bank cost. Because that's what we do. I mean, that's part of our deal.
So Alan, if we were to do what you're suggesting, to just push power to 16 lots, I mean, the new graphic shows us those lots. So if we did that, then we're pretty much saying that that's only 16 that we're gonna be able to sell.
And if we sell them in pairs, that's only 8.
And really, yeah, you're not really selling them in pairs.
Eight-
You gotta
8
sell one to
homes.
sell two.
But yeah. No, I think we definitely do the electricity to get the power back there, and that opens up, gets the ball rolling on some other things. I question, what I'm debating is, do we go ahead and, I'd like to know if we can vacate the side yards, that way we can sell 2 at a time, that way we don't have this issue and don't have the expensive replatting, because I'd hate to just put another burden on somebody who's wanting to build a home here. So, yeah, we need to fix that portion
Yeah,
of it.
because really what we'd be doing is we're selling for 5,000 each now, and then it'd go up another 1,500, 2,000 each, and then the extra money for the electricity and power that's gonna go in there, they're gonna 10,000 each by then, 20,000.
Yeah, I think we've all along, the land bank has taken the attitude, let's get people in there.
Mhm.
And if people are gonna spend X, if you keep some of these costs on this side down, they're gonna put it in the house.
Yep.
The city paid for the infrastructure for the developments, but they didn't pay for the lots. So if we're charging 5,000 per lot, listing agent makes $1,000, we're still making 4,000. I'm not sure we have to transfer all of the cost on to them. Maybe a portion of it, maybe half of it. So it's not an extra 1,500, but maybe another 750.
Maybe we better see how much it's gonna cost and then.
Right, I think we have some more questions
Yeah.
to answer.
Yeah.
The Nacarato's bought these 2 lots in good faith, assuming that we had power. We assumed they had power. It was no fault of anybody's, but we just didn't do it. But we need to honor
And we need to
their
get power there.
purchase.
I
Yep.
agree.
So,
So do we want to, maybe the simplest thing tonight is approve phase 1 of electric and, or whatever you want to call
And
it.
that'll come out of our, land bank fund. Do we know how much we have in there right now?
It's over 100,000.
Yeah.
Or do we hold off and extend the closing for a month? Give it more thought
well,
next
they're
meeting?
not going to break ground in December,
No,
so
they're not gonna, yeah.
I don't, I'd rather know everything
Okay.
before we make any decision at all.
And I would recommend a motion in place to extend it.
Extend.
Let
And
bottom layers,
the Nacaratos are okay with the month extension?
Yes.
Okay.
allow 1 month, allow the chairman to sign a 1 month extension at the closing date on whatever lot numbers those are in block 1.
Okay, so moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We got,
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment?
no,
What we're talking about,
Or have the
Commissioner
chairman-
Albritton, is the Nacarato's purchased lots 27 and 26 of Block 1. However, they didn't have any power to those lots. We all thought they had power, but they do not. So what we're going to do is they were supposed to close on their properties tomorrow.
Okay,
We're going to put an extension on that for a month,
okay.
so we get the rest of these questions answered and get more
the power
price on
and stuff.
electrical and all these other things answered, the side lots and whatever.
Okay,
So that's what this is about.
okay.
It's just
Sounds
a
good.
1 month extension, in good faith to them,
Sounds
so.
right.
Well, we'll have a whole lot more numbers.
Right.
Yep.
That's good.
Any further discussion?
nope.
All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, anything else on that?
Nope,
I think we're fine. We'll keep trying to get more estimates.
discussion.
One thing about the land bank, it just keeps on giving us gifts.
Yeah.
Whether we wanted them or
Plus, you're
not.
the only land bank of its kind in the world.
Right.
I mean, we really are. I mean, some cities have a 45, Valley Center has 45 lots of one failed
We have, what,
subdivision.
1,000?
Yeah, we're
They had
literally
it big time.
We
groundbreaking.
have more lots than Valley Center.
Pretty much so, yeah.
So our next item is item C, consider the offer from Roy Fosnat and Christopher Ritchie to purchase Lot 1, Block 11 of Olivia Farm subdivision and lots 31 and 2 of Block 12, Olivia Farm subdivision, in the amount of $15,000.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that you pull C, D, and E, because let's even,
We need
don't
to
even
find
talk
out
about
where the
until it's about
utility-
electricity,
Same thing.
and maybe listen to other options. And that'd be my recommendation, is table C, D, and E.
Well,
Or
I
you
wouldn't
sort
really
them
even
out.
consider the offers because
Okay.
we should have subdivided this out in the first place. That's no fault of the listing agent or
Yeah.
whatever, so I wouldn't accept those anyway.
But how do
And
we,
they don't have power there anyway, no?
yeah, how do we subdivide them, though? That's the question. Do you subdivide them in 2s or 3s or 4s or 10s,
Well, it's almost like you'd have to put another road or something in order to divide them, the bigger lots, so how would you actually do it?
Well, like blocks 8 and 9 were back to back, like the corresponding area just south of them are supposed to be those row houses.
Yeah.
So that's why that was
Jim, go back up, or go to page,
the next page.
no, it's about,
Oh.
go up in the agenda, yeah.
Page
Go down to
10,
the first, go back to page 10.
page
yeah,
10.
On the packet, please.
in the packet. Right there, go to okay,
Next one up.
go to the next one. No?
Down. That one.
Bingo. Yeah. He has some smaller lots too, doesn't he?
The-
Well, the other thing too is we had talked some time ago about having another access point to the subdivision.
Yeah.
So that cul-de-sac down there, right by Rucker Road, basically lot 21, and maybe the two adjacent to it, or you lump part of those together with 23 and 19, that needs to be set aside for an access point to Rucker.
We've completed the layout for you.
Right.
You know, I think our hope was somebody to just buy it and do it, but, you know, because that's going to be a, what, $300,000 cost?
With the street, yeah, you was pushing 200,000.
Yeah.
Loop the water line back in.
Right.
Gives the fire chief other fire access.
And this area is the other area that doesn't have any electricity to it, right? Okay.
The question is going to be if we subdivide them, how?
Right down the middle.
I just don't know how much interest there is in those row houses at all. I mean, to me, if you look at the corresponding lots on Cinder Lane, lots 8 through 11, I mean, I think you kind of marry those up and cut it that way to me.
Does Mr. Fosnett, do they know there's no power there?
Yes, they do now.
Oh,
I'm wondering about the idea behind subdividing those and creating more lots. Is that, with all of the other lots out there, is that do you want to create more lots? You want to go to the, if you look at creating, say you subdivide it, and you replat it into, say, three each, and you sell them for $5,000 each, the potential revenue from that is $15,000. We have a ballpark figure to run power to one of those is, just for 2 houses, would be around $12,000.
Because you're less.
So to run the power to it at $12,000 at a potential cost of picking up $15,000, you've got the potential for $3,000 in net revenue there.
but are
With all the
we,
lots that are available out there, is it worth the cost and the risk to do something like that?
and are we going to continue to be responsible to get the power in there even?
No, I think that's going to be
Yeah,
That's up to us to do when we want to.
this case. And there may be somebody says, I don't want to wait in the city, we'll buy all these lots and we'll cover it, maybe they'll ask for a different price, I mean, you know, and they'll take care of those costs, and I don't know.
Is there a cost at which the land bank would consider selling these without the power and let somebody else be responsible for running the power?
Well, I think Chair makes a good argument that they would get a whole large area for $5,000. So if they add the cost, now they're basically, they could split the 3, and they're down to 5, I mean, they're down to the same, and they took all the risk. Yeah. But we're not short of lots.
Well, I think we have plenty of lots to put in play, so we don't really even need to worry about these right now. Just take those out of the for sale for now. Unless somebody wants to make, I mean, I don't know, I can go either way.
I would suggest tabling for now, and that way we get a little more firm data, and that way if he argues, we'll have something there.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Does anybody else?
So, table C, D, and E,
we need a motion for that?
please.
I'll make a motion that we table items C, D, and E until next meeting.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is consider the offer from Walter N. Sutter and Karen N. Sutter, co-trustees of the Sutter Living Trust to purchase Lot 1, Block 4 of the Sutter Woods subdivision in the amount of $2,500.
Let me discuss these two together. These lots are all side by side. 2, 3, and 4 are further north. They're willing to pay the $5,000. They're offering $2,500 for that south one because it's a 65-foot lot and there's a 5-foot easement all around it. 10-foot easement.
10-foot easement on 3 sides.
3 sides.
And the south side of Lot 1 has a 10-foot easement all the way across. So if you take the dimensions of it, you're going to be able to put a smaller house there. The land is adjacent to their land.
You know, so do you accept the 25 or do you ask for 5,000?
And-
I doubt if we'll ever see anything built on them.
Well, and then the item G is the same the same folks that are wanting to get lot 2, 3, and 4. So do you think that maybe that one lot, they're just gonna combine it with?
I think that the reason they were separated is because they wanted to move forward, but they also didn't want to stop the process on the other 3 lots because of the one lot. They were willing to pay the $5,000 per lot on the other 3 lots, but the one lot that had the 3 easements across it, they felt like that was less valuable than the others, and if they didn't want to stop the process for the entire purchase, if that wasn't acceptable, but they felt like that was a less valuable lot, less opportunity to build, less value in the future for that particular one.
Well, with that many easements, it is worth less. Not worthless, but worth less.
I don't have a problem with it.
Not either.
Make a motion, we approve the sale of Lot 1, Block 4 of the Sutter Woods Division to the Sutters for the amount of $2,500.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment?
Nope.
All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is consider the offer from Walter and Karen Sutter, co-trustees of the Sutter Living Trust, to purchase lots 2, 3, 4, Block 4, Sutter Woods subdivision, the amount of $15,000.
Make a motion, we approve the sale of lots 2, 3, and 4, Block 4 of Sutter Woods to Walter and Karen Sutter for the amount of $15,000.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment?
Nope.
All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, consider the offer from Mary Beth Mathis Trust to purchase lots 6 and 7, Block 1, Deer Creek Edition number 3, in the amount of $5,000.
As we said earlier, there's no utilities there. They totally understand it. They have property, or family has property adjacent to the west.
Make a motion to approve the sale to Mary Beth Mathis Trust to purchase lots 6 and 7, Block 1 of Deer Creek Addition, Unit number 3, in the amount of $5,000.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment?
Nope.
Just for the record, this is 2 lots for $5,000, $5,000 apiece.
Right, yep. Lot 6 and 7, I
The only thing
apologize.
that I'd want to consider is if at some point in time, and maybe we can, I don't know if we need to put this in motion or just, is that if the city does 3-4 years down the road, do an electric and natural gas upgrade, that they would have to pay, we may charge them for that.
But this is $5,000 total for 2 lots.
Right.
Does that clarify?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think we want to set that precedence personally. We've kind of held pretty firm to the $5,000 a lot. And now we're doing $2,500 a lot.
Yeah,
And the
This
diff-
is no electric, no power.
Yeah, but the difference is, I mean, the difference in the lot you had before is that lot before was just, it was a small lot with not as much there. these are nice large lots. The key issue is gonna be is, you know, or do you hold them off the market and wait till we move to, you know, a plan to do electric, natural gas in there? And that may be a long time, I don't know. The nice part about it is that subdivision, in my mind, is priced, again, I think the good lots are some of the good lots are in Deer Creek also. You know, if I was gonna build a house today, I'm not going, I've done that already, but Deer Creek and Man's Ranch are my two choices. I like them better than Living Farms.
I think Commissioner Underhill's point is taken that even though they don't have utilities at this point,
They might down the road.
they might down the
And we
road.
might sell one next month where we're putting utilities in, and then all of a sudden, those two nice big lots are lit up.
Well, I have a
They're gonna
concern.
cost more to put utilities in because there's no natural gas, and
Gotcha.
there is no, at least in Olivia Farms, there's some skeleton of electric structure. There's not a skeleton here. I don't know why it would cost for electricity to a lot of lots there.
How many more lots tie on to where these two are at?
Hmm?
How many more lots tie on to where these two are at that are, I don't think it's,
Subdivision?
is it one of our maps?
Quite a few.
Which map is it on?
It'd be this one here, this one with all the, yeah, there's all that, I don't know how many lots, 20,
The Deer
30,
Creek
40?
one?
I'm gonna go 40,
I wanna
in
see
that
where
range.
they're at lot 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Which ones are lot 6 and 7?
You know, in a few years, when we get Spring Valley Road all fixed up, these lots are gonna be real nice. They're not all shown, they're not broken on that map, that's just an electric map.
I'm just, putting the roads.
Yeah, there's,
my
there's,
mind.
there's, yeah. There's that many lots in there.
I just think we have to be real careful about setting precedent.
Yeah,
So I can see anybody come in from here forward and say, well, you sold it for this deal with.
But you do have a motion to sell both lots for a total of 5 right now.
We didn't have a second though, did we? We only had a
I
motion.
have a second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-2. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.